This daf Yom Yerushalmi Ma'asros the article is edition where Ramashal Tapalam given off by the top Kabash V'Shalak in the Bilna that is on Yud Chesam and Beis. I just saw it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. About 12 lines at the bottom. First word in line is Nitbelu, then there's a dot, then it's Kabash V'Shalak. I'm looking on the wrong page. Kabash V'Shalak is das smiling. Somebody cooked or pickled or cooked vegetables without the consent of the owners. Pluto Rabbi Yochanan Rish Lakish. The machlekes of Rish Lakish. What now the status is vis-a-vis Tevel. The Yispam we have machlekes. I'm in my reach curious chaveir shlomidaito. If I smooth the pile of my friend, which is the Gemara Malacha, Yerushalmi Ma'asros, without my friend's consent, it's his pile, and I did without his consent. Rabbi Yochanan Marnit by Yochanan says Tevel. Nevertheless, the miruach is effective, which has a go ran in the field. That's what makes it. Going for that's his house, that makes it Chaim Shusamisis. And Rabbi Yerushalmi Ma'asros says it's not Tevel. Rabbi Yochanan says it's not comparable. He says Tami Im Shalosh Marech. Here, there, it's not possible that you're not going to do miruach. That's what you have to do in order to get to the stage where you can eventually eat it. So therefore, Rabbi Yochanan says, okay, we shouldn't be the Aito, but it has to be done. So it's done a little bit sooner. It makes it Tevel. Here, here, nobody says it. How do we know guys wants to pickle it? So therefore, Yerushalmi Daito does not make a kavod from Isis. Okay, next case. Shulchan Rishus Hekdesh. You cooked it in Rishus Hekdesh, which of course would mean that it's there are makdish the peros after the Gemara Malacha, and then they cook them with the the consent of the gizbar. Shulchan Rishus Hekdesh Upedah, and then they redeem them. The Chnisah L'Chatzer and brought them into the Chatzer. Chatzer Mitzvah to the Chatzer, which is Nishmar Mao. What's the status? Adaita Rish Lakish Nitba. The according to Rish Lakish, it becomes Tevel by the Chatzer. Because Chatzer is Tevel the Rises. I talk about Zutera. The Chatzer makes it Kavur the Raisa. Mizuena Torah. Whereas the cooking is not used to Raisa. Adaita Rabbi Yochanan Lo Nitba. But Rabbi Yochanan that does become Tevel. Because Zu and Torah both cooking does not make a kavod the rice. So anyway, here was done b'shus hekdesh, and Chatzim B'shir doesn't make a tevel the rice. Interesting here. Okay, so it would be kavod the rabbanan. So the way the Kavanach explains it, it's Rabbi Yochanan holds that the chutz is only kavod the rabbanan, but here the second kviyah the day b'alim is nothing. Shein koveh achar koveh. Since the first kviyah, which took place by Hekdesh, was not about kviyahs because it's by Hekdesh, Hekdesh on Chayv from some Ma'asros. So therefore, the second kviyah, when it goes into the Chatzim B'Shmir, which is also the Rabbanan, it's not effective. Ichnisa l'Chatzim Beis Hashmira b'Rishus Hekdesh. So what if you brought it into Chatzim Beis Hashmira in Rishus Hekdesh, Pido Shloko, and then you redeemed it and cooked it? Dibra Kol Nitba. Anybody holds it's Tevel, because putting it into the Chatzir only makes it kavua that we could say ain't kovea achar kovea if it's chatzir shabaylim. And here we went to chatzir hekdesh. There is no din of k'nisah chatzir, so it's not kovea achar kovea. The only kvias is really the second one where you cooked it, and cooking at that time since it's already nifta, everybody holds it is comes tevel. So so the one says, well, wait a second, that's easy pashut, right? What do you do a maisa in the which is hekdesh? That should be an impediment to the ultimate kviyas by being to be machnas l'chotzer. Didn't do a maisa b'yushus hekdesh because when later on when you cook it, it should become kavua. Because bringing it to the chotzer hekdesh, it's not the pshat that I bring to chotzer, but it was potter. and therefore it wasn't nikva then, and later on it's not nikva. No, it's not. It's not achnos l'chotzer. Achnos l'chotzer definition means achnos l'chotzer hediot. Achnos l'chotzer hediot is command leisadani. It's like not a shlil and lumda. It's not a shlila. It's a header. It's not a negative hachnasa. It's a nothing. So, absence of hachnasa. Ella, rather the case like this. Hikdisho, you kumakdish ushlako, and you cooked a little bit. And then you brought it into chatzah beishmira, upto, and you redeemed it. And ushlako, and you cooked it again, complete cooking. The rekol nitbal. Everybody that becomes devil. That makes sense. Pedov etzim komau. What happens? You redeemed it, and actually, I should tell you what the Kamala says before we go on. Mashal, this cover has a shlikas only cover when you show like cold circle. So that's of course, it was nothing. Okay, so after you redeem, it's completely cooked. You show hektish. You redeemed it, and then you were to make it. In other words, you made it, you cooked it more. Like you say, mitzamek v'yafilo. So when it's cooked more, it's better. So what's the status now? Okay, if we're going to say ur is tovel, that cooking makes it the tevel, so then here became tevel. No, that's not the case. They say ur is tovel, so then ur poiter. So then you're going to say the ur itself, whatever stage, as long as it actually cooked, is tovel. So then the ur is poiter in this case because there was a mishur seklish. In Tamar, ain't or toivel. Say that the fire in itself is not toivel. In other words, where you're going to cook it more, it's going to become enhanced. So for initial cooking, even though it's called choco, but it wasn't as much as you intended to with it. So then, in Tamar, ain't or toivel, ain't or poiter. So then, of course, that initial fire, he also wasn't patrid, and now becomes a kavua when you actually enhance it further. Okay, so the Gemara doesn't really answer that question. Rabbi Yirmiyah Boyer asked Tignu Asodam out. What if you bake it in a vessel in the field? What's the story? Below Cain, Ana Ur Toivel. So it says more. What do I mean? It's the problem. It was probably different. Baking in a pan. So it's or you cooked it, right? Ilu efshar the lo mitan gabe mashach yos. So the Gemara says interesting thing. If we're talking about something which doesn't require oil to fry it, then it's a good question. And obviously it's going to be toivel. Hacham mashach havaboy. You're talking about something where you have to put oil and to fry properly or to bake in the pan properly. I'm not sure what the camera said, bake in the pan to fry. And you didn't put in oil. So it's still considered to be a Gemara Ma'is or not? And that's the question. The case requires oil, and we don't have a resolution actually to what the status is. In this case, we'll leave it by the Lipshita. Rabbi Yossi B'Shem Kahana, Amar Rabbi Yoina, Tani, Rabbi Chalafta Ben Shol, also Asa B'Sodem. They all said that you ate by seva. You reclined. I'm not sure reclined on the ground. You brought your recliner, the what you stayed at the couch. You see it at home. So that makes it tevel. Let's have eno tevel. If you didn't recline, it's not going to make it tevel. Ezu has to shoot tevel. What's the say which it does make it tevel? Kol shesh bo yain. It's not enough just to recline, so you have to wine. And I say to you have to have wine. No, whatever. What have you determined? Okay, this time we're going to make a haseva the meal, right? We're going to bring out this much to eat and to drink in the haseva, and in the end, you didn't necessarily recline. You ate standing or sitting. So is it still considered as if since you had a mighty mason and you did go through the motions without actually reclining, well, you did sit or stand? Is that good? Is that make a kavua? Also by the Liv Shtov, no answer. Time we learned Shumesh Chilaim. You have garlic and cress. Shishachon besodeh. If you ground, chop them up, and the Chamraki adds, and you put in also shemen and tavlin. So I guess when you shoichek them, you put in them shemen, oil, and spices. They become tevel. Okay, does that make sense? He says when it was a shum of tevel, which you then, when you ground up, and spice it with oil of chulin. Shum shel chulin, sheshachem b'shemen shel tevel. What about if you have a shum of chulin, which you then use shemen of tevel in order to fix up, but the shemen itself is not nigmar malachto. It's nigmar malacha because you're putting the oil into this cress or this garlic, to fix it. Or they say no because the way the Kamraki puts it, its significance is become null and void, and therefore the male can become devil at this point, and also there's no resolution to this question here. But Yibayat lo ifshita. Rabbi Zira, Rabbi Chia, Barashi, B'Shem Rav said, Eshkol shesochat, with the coast nitbal. If you took a cluster of grapes and you squeeze it into a cup, it becomes tevel. If you put it into a pot, lo nitbal. Again, the way the Kavanok explained it based on the Gra, because it's not considered to be Kamar Malacha. Kamar Malacha is when you put it into the cup to drink, but if you put it into the pot, even though, what do you mean it's not Kamar Malacha? So it's not Be'ain. So the Gra says, it's not Be'ain, it's not going to be like Kamar Malacha. The Gemara says, so you take off the chunk off the top. So we say, so what do you mean? Because you're taking off the refuse off the top. That's the Mishnah said. Talking about it's hot. So, okay, there's no bore. There's no miniature bore like we said in the Mishnah. But there's ur. And ur is kover. So talking about when it's still cold. And therefore, it's not still cold. The mix together is not what's making it actually. I think I misspoke a little bit, but it's the kipui. Kapel tavshil patur. The tavshil ketera. Empty ketera. It's chayv neshul kabor katan. So here the tavshil is patur. I didn't speak. Never mind. Scratch that. If we do the tavshil is patur, we say because it's tavshil toilet. So there's no ur to be covered. As you mentioned, Mishnah is an empty pot. Masisa Lamar Kain. So it says the Mishnah, there's the Mishnah itself, not indicate this. What Chiddush you tell me? They went over in the Mishnah. Ela Makla Tavshil Potter, Ukdeir Chayav Mineshu Kabar Katan. So it's actually part of the question. Does the Mishnah tell us this? Because the Mishnah tells us because it says it only says Hamaka Tavshis Potter. There's Chaim Neshu Bor Katan. There's Chai because it's the Bor Katan. What's the Bor Katan? Evidently it means an empty pot, which is like that, the Bor Katan. Okay, that brings us to the top of Lamed Dalet. So we finished Lamed Gimel.